What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. Today, by very popular request, as several people have requested this race, unfortunately I could only find one of the comments. So we'll say, at the request of XLVIII and all of their friends, we're cracking open the Advanced Race Guide, we're cracking open Goblins of Golarion today. It's all about Pathfinder's Goblins. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And real quick, this episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you in part by Josh King. Josh, thanks so much for your help, my friend. Now let's get to it. So, goblins on planet Earth originated in the 14th century and are most prevalent in northwestern Europe, Scandinavia, the British Isles, and presently the States. Goblins are mischievous and usually very unpleasant, vengeful, and greedy creatures whose primary purpose is to cause trouble to humankind. This is the most common type, according to European folklore. The appearance of a goblin varies quite dramatically depending on its country of origin, although most goblins are known for having quite unruly hair and green-colored skin. There are several different subtypes of goblins in planet Earth's mythology, up to and including the kobold, and we covered the kobold a long time ago on this channel. If you'd like to learn more about that iconic race in Pathfinder, follow this card right up here. You've also got trow, hobgoblins, bogies, knockers, a lot of fun stuff. In Pathfinder, goblins are considered nothing more than murderous pests by most. They dwell on the fringes of other societies, scavenging amongst their waste and building their society in squalor. Though goblins are weak on their own, they often gather in huge numbers to overwhelm their enemies. Goblins are about the size of a halfling. They tend to be around 3 foot tall, with large flat heads and long ears. Also in Pathfinder, they're super adorable. Their skin tends to be leathery, and it's often wrinkled and covered in tiny scars, warts, and scabs. Goblins grow little, if any, hair, relying on their thick skin and huddling together in groups to keep warm. They have small, beady red eyes set close together over a little pug nose, above a hideously wide mouth lined with sharp teeth. Goblins rarely build their own structures, preferring to use terrain and natural defenses to their advantage, often settling in areas of heavy undergrowth. They rely on scavenging for most of their sustenance and are gifted at surviving in even the most hostile climates. They keep numerous mounts in their settlements, typically wolves, goblin dogs, wargs, things of that nature, but never ponies, horses, or dogs, as they have an intense fear and hatred of those animals, as well as a fear of the written word. They believe that the mere act of writing words steals them from one's head. Yeah, true story. Of course, there are several variant goblins all across Golarion. We've got the Grindylow, the Monkey Goblin, the Snow Goblin. Today, we're just going to talk about the Vanilla Goblin as he appears in the Advanced Race Guide. Goblins come of age at 12 years old. Males range in height from 2'10" to 3'4", with females coming in 2 inches shorter. And they range in weight from 32 to 38 pounds, with females this time coming in at 5 pounds shorter. The maximum age for a goblin isn't a whole lot of much. It's 40 plus 1d20 years. You don't have a lot of time, guys. Make the most of it. Down to their stats, a goblin receives a +4 to its dexterity, but a -2 to its strength and charisma. They're humanoids with the goblinoid subtype, and they're small creatures, which of course gives them a +1 size bonus to their AC and attack rolls, a -1 to their CMB and CMD, and a +4 on stealth checks. Goblins are pretty fast for their size, so they have a base speed of 30 feet, and they have a +4 racial bonus on ride and stealth checks, so your level 1 goblin, with no ranks in stealth at all, and a dexterity of 10 has a +8 to his stealth score. Goblins also have dark vision up to 60 feet, and I want to say there's not a lot going on for the goblins, but there really, really, truly is. Several archetypes exist, feats exist, they have plenty of support for favored class bonuses, unique traits, plenty of alternate racial traits. There's even some shenanigans that allowed you to use an oversized firearm. And also, these guys are incredibly iconic to the Pathfinder role-playing game. They're so iconic that in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, the Goblin has not only become a core race, but it's become the race that's representing the iconic alchemist Fumbus. And if you haven't caught up on that, you can follow this card right up here to learn about the playtest alchemist, and over here, you can learn about the Goblin's ancestry. However, there is one thing I don't really like about the 2nd edition Goblin. I guess that what I'm about to say is going to spoil the videos I just gave you cards for. But in 2nd edition, the idea is that the Goblin is evolving, or there's a bit of a divine spark where suddenly a Goblin won't, want to eat everything and be afraid of words and can hang out with the civilized races. I've always thought that was kind of a nature versus nurture thing. If you're being raised by humans or humanoids that aren't goblins, you certainly want to grow into something else, and it's not like the Goblin takes a neg 20 million penalty on his intelligence or something. Matter of fact, it's just a -2 to his charisma. This guy can mechanically have as much intelligence as the human wizard. Well, I guess assuming the human wizard didn't put his +2 into intelligence. Regardless, that's definitely my standpoint on these guys. I'm a very big fan of the backstory builds the character. The backstory determines whether or not that character fits in or whether or not the character is reviled by society. For example, if you wanted to build something like, I don't know, like a goblin paladin, sure, you would take the charisma neg, but if you're rolling into town on the back of your wolf, or maybe you've gotten over your phobia of horses through the grace of Iomedae, and you carry yourself upright, just like the dwarf paladin of Torog right next to you. If I would GM for a goblin, and I have GM'd for a goblin on one occasion, come to think of it, way back before I even knew what Pathfinder was and we were just stealing stats from the internet, I would definitely encourage that player to break the stereotype, be whatever it is he wants to be in a mechanical sense. A +8 to stealth out the gate lends itself to rangers, rogues, hunters, ninja, anybody who's trying to get in and out of places quietly. Boom, right there. The Goblin I GM'd for, actually he was a wizard, and it was a really powerful wizard because this was 3/5, and there was a lot of really broken spells from the spell compendium at high level that this little dude was throwing out as he was hiding amongst the bodies of people we'd killed, and it was really, really fun. And I think that drives the narrative better than the stereotypical, you're level 1, alright, here's 20 of these dudes, go kick them in the face, now they'll run away, hurrah! Though, of course, that has its place as well. Now, if I were to play a goblin, and truthfully, I would love to play a goblin, I have one rolled up, I haven't named him, but he's a paladin of the Ibladonian hero god Sumeria, running around with an oversized spear, being all lawful neutral and being all phalanxy. I'm sure the goblin looks super adorable with a Greek-style helmet and his ears popping out at really awkward angles. That's what I would do. I would play something like a paladin or a wizard or whatever the opposite of goblins are, just to get farther away from that stereotype. Unless, of course, we're playing something like We Be Goblins, in which case all bets are off. We're playing rogues or alchemists or clerics of Lamashtu / the goblin hero god of your choice. Which actually, now that I'm remembering those exist, was exactly why I chose to make my goblin character Ibladonian, because they already have hero gods. It's not that big a stretch. Goblins are definitely one of my favorite races in Pathfinder because, again, it's on the book. It's right there. Look at all these wonderful little goblin arts. Don't you want to just, pinch their cheeks and then swiftly withdraw your hands so your fingers aren't bitten off? I know I do. I digress. What do you guys think about this race? Have you played a goblin in Pathfinder 1st Edition? Do you want to play a goblin in Pathfinder 1st Edition? Most importantly, who's down to make an all-goblin party in Pathfinder 2nd Edition? You guys have exactly 1 week to follow this card right up here if you're trying to play Doomsday Dawn with us. 6 lucky subscribers will be taken through that giveaway, and if we can push Patreon up just a little farther, get it to $300, I'll run 2 groups through. Anyway, as always, thank you guys so much for your time. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of the Forgotten Race Review, where we go back to do one more template, specifically the iconic Half-Dragon template, drops next Monday.